Thank you, everybody, and thank you for all organizers and sponsors for organizing this event. I'm Estelle Auberix. I'm a Microsoft Regional Director and Azure MVP. I am focusing on innovative human-centric innovation, which means that I create solutions depending on real human needs, not on technology. So I'm a co-founder of Azure Gaffer, the French-spoken Azure user group, and Clouders City, a non-profit organization dedicated to promote diversity in cloud and AI. And I'm an organizer member of AMS, another Microsoft community, which organize a lot of local community events. So you can easily follow or contact me through social network, Twitter or LinkedIn. And I am only the one in the world with this first name and last name. So it's really easy to find me if needed. So today, this is the agenda. First, I will define my vision of Metaverse. Then I will present you the digital twins technology and how I think it can help you to change the game. So I will explain how to get started with it and present several examples in order to give you at least some inspiration or maybe the confidence to create your own project. So the buzzword of the moment is Metaverse, which with Facebook's parent company rebrand as Meta, the news is a buzz with the Mark Zuckerberg's push for the creation of a metaverse. We could apparently be entering a new area of an online interaction, but the metaverse isn't as new an idea as you might think. So in 1964, before anyone had even conceived of the concept of virtual reality, before computers were even in mainstream through, Daniel F. Galloway wrote one of the most influential science fiction books of the day. He conceived of a world that exists only virtually, one of the first stories about virtual reality. This is Matrix decades before Matrix was conceived. But the term metaverse was first used in Neil Stephenson's 1992 novel Snow Crash, and the novel depicts people using virtual reality technology and digital avatars of themselves to explore an online digital world. And in this world, the characters can walk down the street, visit shops, offices, amusement parks, and other forms of entertainment. The events that happen in the metaverse can sometimes impact people in the real world of the novel, and in Snow Crash, the metaverse acts as an escape from the dystopian reality the characters lives in. And of course, in 1999, we had the first volley of Matrix of the Matrix serial. So today we describe the metaverse as a fully immersive internet where we will be able to access augmented and virtual reality and interact with all sorts of environments using persistent avatars and innovative digital technology. So what is the difference between the games versus the metaverse? So the second world is a virtual world created by Canal Plus Multimedia, a French multimedia company, opened, and this game was created in 1997, and it was closed in 2001. So it was the first European online virtual world, immersive simulation, and it allowed users to evolve through their avatar in a reconstruction of Paris in 3D. So getting around, visiting seats, setting up a private place, like an apartment, for example, meeting other people, participating in discussion groups, collective creation, and so on. And there are also publishing companies specialized in the second world, just in order to allow companies to invest from advertising spaces in the second world. So in this virtual world, one of the main objectives was the meeting. So the notion of avatar was very important to ensure the rendering of the application. So it is one of the precursors of the second land games, and here's a little video to show you how it looks like. I'm sorry.
Your alter ego world. An apartment in the second world, which is personalized to appeal to your character. You can begin your exploration world. You are at home. Outside is the city. You are in Paris, a virtual Paris, with all the major streets and monuments. You can walk around in real-time 3D principal areas of the French and all the monuments, the beauties, de la cité, and la Père Lachaise. Imagine which Tokyo and New York is possible, and everything will in the second world. Meet with different people. Express your emotions. Leave messages and consult your mailbox as you would in the real world. Just like in the real world, you have a family. You can enlarge your circle of friends. Make appointments to the avatars which are your friends. You'll never be alone in the second world, unless, of course, you wish to be. The second world will also be a 3D graphic interface to many online services, such as banking or shopping, and will also feature links to other areas of the internet.
So as you can see on the video, it's more than 20 years ago, and that's not a very good quality of animation, of images, and that but the concept was already here, and it's not very different than what we're seeing now. But that's the difference between the game and the metaverse. So we have the RPG, so role-playing games, so like Sims or Second Life. So the Sims is a strategy life simulation video game developed by Maxis and published by Electronic Arts in 2000. And it is a simulation of the daily activities of one or more virtual people. This, which we call the Sims for those who don't know Sims. And this is in a suburban household near a fictional city, and players control customizable Sims as they pursue career and relationships goals. So players can also use their Sims incomes to renovate their living space, purchase home furnishings, or clothing for their household. So players can also choose to pursue a social and successful life. The Second Life is so Sims is it's still we are in the Sims 4 version. I don't know exactly, but it's still existing, and also the Second Life, which was created in 2003. And this is an online multimedia platform that allows people to create an avatar for themselves and then interact with other users and user-created content with a multiplayer online virtual world. So it is developed and owned by the San Francisco-based firm Linden Lab, and it was it saw rapid growth for some years, and in 2013, it was approximately 1 million regular users, but the growth eventually stabilized by the end of 2017, and the active users count had declined to between 800,000 and it was around 1 million, and now it's around 800,000 and 900,000. So in many ways, Second Life is similar to massively multiplayer online role-playing games. Nevertheless, Linden Lab is emphatic that their creation is not a game, and there's no manufactured conflict, no set objective, like we can see in the shot and gun, or in the shooter video game. We have some other the MMO, which is a massively multiplayer online game, like sandbox games like Minecraft, Roblox, and the Sandbox, for example. And those are video games with gameplay elements that provide the player a great degree of creativity to interact with, usually without any predetermined goals, or alternatively with a goal that the player sets for themselves. So by understanding how to use Minecraft, people can better understand the metaverse and Web3. And in addition, they can learn about the potential of these concepts and how they can be used in the real world. So a few key factors make Minecraft a great platform for the metaverse. And Minecraft is highly adaptable, meaning that players can create their own content and share it with others. And this makes it easy to create new experiences and worlds within the game. So Minecraft also has a large and active community that creates a sense of belonging, allowing players to connect with each other. Most importantly, Minecraft is constantly evolving with new features and updates being released regularly. And this makes it easy to create new experiences and worlds within the game. So there's two other examples of MMO games, which are, for example, the Call of Duty, which was the first in the first-person shooter video game franchise published by Activision, and it's starting out in 2003. And it first focused on games set in the World War II. And over time, the series has been a game set in the midst of Cold War, futuristic worlds, and outer space. And we also have Fortnite, which is also an online video game developed by Epic Games and released in 2017. And with this game, Epic Games had the vision to combine the construction games genre of games like Minecraft with the shooting game of games like Call of Duty in one multiplayer game. So in 2021 interviews, so just at the end of the pandemic, Mustard discussed everything Epic does to develop the Fortnite metaverse, and the concept of immersive narrative is included, accomplished by several playable live events in recent seasons. So why do I speak about the different games when I want to explain the metaverse? Because there's a lot of confusion for people, and some of them are thinking that metaverse is only for games, or and that's not the real life, and that's really difficult to find the line between the real and the digital world. And the goal of the metaverse is to erase this line. So the difference between games and metaverse that's much common between internet video game and the metaverse to come. So avatar are virtual characters that we embody. And in an online video game, we can assume that the role is a magician, a knight, a trader, and it can be a totally unreal avatar. And but if you want to evolve in the metaverse, it looks like today the avatar it's supposed to look like you, or at least to have some common point with you. Physical command point. And the metaverse will allow such experiences of doubling oneself in own form or in that of a character. So objects or items of particular value that were ready to acquire. And in an online game, it can be a particular piece of armor or horse, for example. And in a metaverse, it could be a gift like being able to fly, or even a work of art and NFT that we have acquired and that they exhibit at home. So in the metaverse, you can buy some real things, so real object or real values, and to have it converted in the real life, which is not the goal in a real game. So the complexities, whether real, we will visit New York virtually before going there for good, for example, or imaginary with places for recreation, competition, and so on. And homes that you can decorate as you wish, in which to receive friends. For example, in Metaverse, you're not supposed to have the same house as in the real life. You can have your dream home if you want. You can have a totally different life in the metaverse. But if you want to interact with the real life, it's supposed to be as more more common with a more common point as possible. And the common point is also the persistent, because we can leave this rule anytime, and when you come back to it, it has evolved in parallel. So, however, a metaverse differs from a video game, and that it incorporates a lot of activities that are not necessarily fun. So, for example, the type of working meeting, Zoom, the possibility to attend events such as a concert, like experienced by Fortnite, without having to travel, meetings of various types for the simple recreational purpose, and distance education, and so on. So, in resume, Metaverse is a virtual world designed to connect worldwide users with a shared digital platform to interact and socialize. So companies building their Metaverse project leverage leading technologies such as 3D reconstruction, augmented reality, virtual reality, IoT, artificial intelligence, and blockchain to develop powerful versions of Metaverse. So here's the vision of the metaverse by Microsoft.
Anomalies. We can now simulate ability, evaluate outcome, determine the impact of any change, or we can now harness AI to physical world to improve and honest, to give first to your frontline workers. I'll give everyone in your organization to build apps and workflow, to collaborate with each other in the space, to share and receive X at the right time with the right content view, to move through the vault and get relevant information digital counterpart when and where using mixed reality. Microsoft Cloud brings these capabilities together. Limitless computing power of the cloud and intelligent devices at the edge, and creates this framework for building impactful digital twin, mixed reality, and metaverse solutions.
So in this event, you will have some other session focused on augmented reality, mixed reality, or Microsoft Mesh. That is why we'll only focus on IoT and digital devices. So with the Internet of Things, Metaverse can collect, obtain, and utilize data from the physical world, and it connects the virtual world to a Metaverse to a large number of real-world devices, so that objects in the Metaverse can switch the way they function based on changing weather or atmosphere, for example. So with Azure IoT services, Microsoft gives you a very comprehensive solution that's designed to help you connect your devices, whether a few hundred or million across the world, analyze all the data coming from these devices, and take action from the insights by integrating with your backend systems. And Azure IoT services offer the following capabilities. So the device connectivity and management. So device connectivities and management to connect to millions of devices simultaneously, enhance security of your IoT solutions by taking advantages of per-device authentication to communicate with devices that have the appropriate credentials, and it revokes access right to specific devices to maintain the integrity of your system. You also have the data ingestion and command and control. So you can establish reliable bidirectional communication with these assets, even if they are intermittently connected, analyzed, and still on incoming telemetry data. The work information is enabling the ability to integrate with your company existing backend systems to enable you to make the best use of the data and process you already have. So whether it's as simple as sending text or integrating with your CRM or ecosystem. You can have casual and visualization. So you can create powerful and rich visualization experience with tools like Power BI to view the picture of what your data is telling you. And finally, you can pre-configure. So you have pre-configured solution. So this is one the Microsoft provides, and it can help you to develop application faster. Will not only allow you to do more books and pilot, and it will also help accelerate the long project cycle we spoke about earlier. And you can Microsoft do this by offering pre-configured solution for the more common IoT scenarios, and you can see it easily when you connect. Even if you never use IoT, you can connect to the IoT Central. Have, like on the Power Platform, the possibility to build and to have some concrete example in order to learn to have some idea about what is possible or what you can do. So, for example, with on the IoT controls. In this example, you have a dashboard that you're supposed to be in an hospital and to monitor patients. So the patient has the smart watch and also some other connected devices. And I added on the devices, another one, which is my own phone, which that means that anytime that I have my phone with me, I transform myself as a connected object. So I'm a connected person directly in these applications. So you can also have a smartwatch, and that this example shows that the IoT devices are not only captors that are not only temperature or gyroscopic captors, that can be also an object integrated these captors. So because, as you know, your mobile phone and your smartwatch are also captors, so you can get the data from this captor directly and to use it in your application. So another example of applications that you can generate in the IoT Central is an application which is dedicated to monitor the energy. And this is a typical example of an application that we can use in a smart building, for example, and in order to avoid to waste energy and in order to save money and to make some economy. So in this case, we have some virtual devices. So that are digital devices already generated with the example. But you can add also your own devices if you have your own captor, and you can create your own monitoring energy application for your own building or for your offices directly from a template if you want, or if you need to create a POC quickly in order to have some example for your direction. So we have to understand the digital devices. So a digital twins, So a digital twin is a virtual or digital representation of a process, product, or service. So digital twins make it possible to simulate, analyze, and test scenarios digitally before implementing changes in the real world. And they have traditionally been used in manufacturing, transportation, construction, and energy. And that's also large complex items such as wind turbines or train engines could be designed and tested digitally before being produced. So you're going to be able to save a lot of money because you won't have to build the whole, for example, the whole engine in order to know how much energy will it cost, or how much will it cost. So, however, with the development of the Internet of Things, digital twins can be used in smaller and less complex items and systems, and by using data analytics, digital twins can help optimize an IoT deployment for maximum efficiency, but it also can help to make some predictive model in order to enhance your solution or to avoid some problems. So it needs to be integrated with the physical and non-physical entities that it represents. And as shown in these pictures, you can see that a digital twin is about being connected. So for example, you have a city with some captors connected to the cloud, and also some digital twins created from the down, and in order to create sometimes more data, or to avoid interruption, or to create some continuity when your capture is not available. And so the digital twin can create some data based on the model of the real device. So you can see on this slide that digital twin subject model describe domain-specific concepts, properties, and categories. So object models include the following types, which are the spaces, you can see here, devices, sensor users, resources, and roles, among others. And object models can be predefined by users, and it also can be combined. The object models make up an ontology. For example, a small buildings ontology includes floors, venues, offices, and conference rooms. And when you have object models and an ontology in place, you can create a spatial graph. And the spatial graph is a virtual representation of the relationship between people, spaces, and devices. Below, and you can see the spatial graph of the user-defined functions can be used to define and find custom function against incoming data from devices in order to send signals to predefined endpoints. And this capability means that you can improve customization and automation of device tasks. For example, a smart flooring could include a user-defined function to assess current water levels and combine them with the rainfall forecast. And the app then sends information about flow warnings. The role-based access control and Azure Active Directory means that you can securely control access for individuals and devices. And for example, a facilities management app can be configured to allow the facilities managers to change the temperature for any room in the building, while occupants can only change the temperature for their room. And Azure Digital Twins can be connected to Azure Streams Analytics, Azure AI, and Azure Storage, also Azure Maps, and Microsoft Mixed Reality, Dynamics 365, or Microsoft 365. So the data flow is like you can see on the screen. This is when the data is sent by devices here to Azure Digital Twin. The data can be processed in 4 phases, which are validation, matching, computing, and dispatching. And in the validation phase, the incoming data is transformed to a data transfer object, which is called a DTO. And in the match phase, the user-defined function are found while the compute phase runs these UDFs. And finally, the dispatch phase routes any notification from the compute phase to predefined endpoint. So at the end of the session, I'm going to give you some link in order to get started with Azure Digital Twins. And with the lab, in a lab, you will learn how to create your Azure Digital Twins instance like that, and then to access to the Digital Twin Explorer. So I'm going to show you. So, but if it's too long, I already have the window open in another. So when you click on, so this is a preview, but this is the Digital Explorer. So in this simple case, you are in a smart building. So you have the building, you have 2 floors. So the floor 0 and the first floors, and you have in the floor 0 1 room and 2 rooms in the second floor. So You can, in the example, you just have to import a model built with Azure Blueprint, but you also can manipulate and complete manually your model. For example, if you need to create a new building, you just have to create a building and, for example, for it's here. So I can generate a twin for this building. For example, I'm going to call it building B. And for example, I'm going to see if maybe to see if I'm adding more floors on my building. So I'm going to create a new floor. It's a little bit long. Okay, so I'm going to create a twin. You can see that's really, really simple to work with the digital twins. Did I click on the? I don't know what. I hope that the sound is good because I think that my internet connection is slow. So I have to create a twin. I don't know why I don't have.
Apologies all. It looks like we've lost Estelle. Not sure it's having some sort of connectivity issues. I'll give her a few more minutes to see if she can join again just to finish up her session. So just stay with us for a couple of more minutes while we see if she can get back into the room. It sounded like she was having connectivity issues, and I know her microphone went off. It looks like you've joined. Estelle, are you there? Looks like you're on mute at the minute. You need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Yeah. Your video is very,
Okay,
very slow.
I'm really sorry. I think that I was disconnected. I don't think, I'm sure. I was disconnected. I apologize for that. So I'm going to share again my screen.
Estelle, I don't know if you can hear us. We can't hear you, or see your shared screen. I think you must be having some connectivity issues at your end. Fortunately, it's like she's dropped off again. Let me just see. Are you there, Estelle?
Yes, I'm connected with the web app. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I won't turn on the camera in order to spare the bandwidth.
No problem.
But I'm going to share again my screen and try to finish quickly my presentation. I really apologize for this inconvenience. So choose the screen. I don't see my screen. So my screen is this one. So can you see my screen?
Yes, that's come through now. We can see that.
Okay, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. So I'm going to show you that I'm creating a new floor. So for floor 1, for example, because it's going to be for my new building, and I will. Okay, so I think that I have some internet connection. But if you do the exercise, you will be able to have the same example, and you're going to be able to play with it. So this is how the digital twins are working, and since last May, it's a totally new product which is still in preview, and you can have the 3D Scene Studio for Azure Digital Twins. And I'm going to show you how does it looks. And so it's also available from the Azure Digital Twins preview. And you can see, so I have some errors, so I hope that's going to go. You will be able to play with some demos like the space station like that. And you can have some video on YouTube with some example. But if you connect directly to the Explorer Digital Twins interface, you will be able to play directly with this interaction. And with the 3D Scene Studio, you will be able to import your own model from Blender or from any 3D 3D softwares, and you will be able to add your own digital twins on your 3D modelization. So for example, if I choose the Ecolab water, for example, it's going to generate the model, and you will be able to see what it looks like and which kind of data I will be able to follow on this kind of modelization. So this is not a game. This is a local metaverse, because, for example, you will be able to modelize your own offices. You will be able to modelize your manufacture, or, for example, your an apartment, a building, and so on. And you will be able to view directly on 3Ds all interaction with the reality. So that is why the 3D Scene Studio is a real update in how to connect digital twins and the metaverse. But as you know, I early told you that digital twins are connected with real internet objects. So that is why you have a direct mix between the reality and the virtuality and the digital world. So that is one. I have a video, but just a second. So to finish, I'm just going to show you the last video of a real use case created by Microsoft and ABB connection, and it is how they use digital twins in a industrial use case. So how does it play? Okay. So as I just saw the time, I'm going to share my presentation so you will be able to see the video. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. Also, we share with you some useful link with my presentation in order for the Azure IoT Central documentation, especially if you begin with IoT. All around Azure to how to begin an Azure IoT developer, the Azure Digital Twins documentation, the Azure Digital Twins Explorer, which I just showed you during the demo. A quick start to get started with a simple scenario, and with this simple scenario you will be able to have the simple smart building presentation I just shown you, and the three how to begin with the three DScenes studio with IoT. And to conclude, you can imagine the future. That's about $800 million market for the metaverse between IoT and so on. So I think that the market is huge. You can have a huge possibilities. This is limitless possibilities for your creation, and you can build your own project respecting the ethic, of course. So if you have any question, I think we have few minutes, but I have to leave for the next presenter. So, and I really apologize for the disruption in my presentations. Do not hesitate to contact me through the social network if you have some question after the presentations. For the avatars, I use this. This is simply the snapshot on the webcam, and I choose the cartoon filters. So this is really simple, but I think that you need to have a very good bandwidth in order to use that, and also some RAM in your computer, because if you have a low RAM on your computer, your webcam is going to freeze.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Estelle. Feedback.
Thank you, Paul. And just tell me, do you have to share my presentation in a special folder or in the chat after my presentation?
If you could share it into the chat now, that'd be perfect.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to generate a PDF file and to share in the chat directly. Thank you very much for being here. Have a good, enjoy the rest of the event. That is a great event, and I'm sure that it's not the last edition. This is the first one, but not the last one. Thank you. Have a good day.